immortality more. This is part 8, the 8th episode. Hi, episode number 8 of my Songcatching series about songwriting and the musical world. I'm going to sing you a song that is only half-baked, I call it. It's still in process, and if you like it, you want to join me in creating it, or taking part in it somehow, I'd love to have your help in creating it, making it even better than... This is what I call a skeleton, just the framework of a song, basic fundamental where it starts. And then whoever joins in with me, they help create it to be something else. A masterpiece. A collaborative masterpiece. So songs that come to us from beyond, we catch them and we turn them through us into something that we then share with the world that we live in. So this is an example, a pure example of what songwriting or songcatching that becomes songwriting and collaborative songwriting and music making, how it happens. So I hope you'll join me in doing this. I'm just going to tell you that the song here that is half-baked is based on a biblical verse, the story of when Miriam gets struck with leprosy and her brothers Aaron and Moshe plead to God to please heal her from this illness. Maybe the first accounting of illness, of healing, of spiritual healing, of how this all works. It's a very interesting subject, of which I am extremely interested in. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I'm going to combine that with songcatching, songwriting. So here's how it's going to work. I have my Vox, and my Vox has a little drum machine in it. It's not the best sound, but I'm going to put it on so we get a little bit of a beat. And let's see what happens when we take it. Here we go. Yeah, I hope you can hear that. Nothing's happening there. Well, okay, whatever. Playing an E minor and a C major 7. Refana lanu ana Hashem. Refana lanu ana Hashem. Refana lanu ana Hashem. Refana lanu. Okay, now you get the idea. There's a beat, there's a framework, there's a repetition going on, there's a part A, there's a part B, there's a part C even, which is kind of a part A with a little twist. So let's look at this song, first of all, the structure of it. We've got an E minor and a C major 7. We've got a beat going on, which is basically a 4/4 beat, right? Here it is. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Right? So it's, you know, your standard kind of 4/4 beat. It's the feeling is a little bit tribal in a way, because of the repetition, the way it is, the beat, the repetition, which is something that rap is famous for. This tribal beat, this repetition, this repeated kind of pattern going on, and just a beat that people bop to. It gets into your soul, the rhythm of the heartbeat. It reaches you in a very basic kind of manner. Just 2 chords, E minor, C major 7th. A lot of chords are kind of that, use that kind of progression. That's the part A. The part B probably should change. Maybe, you know, it should go a little more melodic, or rather than keeping that tribal beat going all the time, maybe it should do something different. Elohim, Elohim. It changes key. The first key was in the key of G, basically, and then goes to an E flat kind of thing with a C minor to a G minor. Goes to the major and then wants to come back again. This is the turning, the turnaround they call it. This turns it back to either a solo or something that might happen in there, and then goes to the back to the A part with the twist, which I would call the C part, which is basically the E minor, and then going, instead of to a C major, it goes E minor to a D, then to the C major, and then back to the E minor. And notice that the melody doesn't change. The melody stays the same. La da 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 da, dee dee da 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 da, la da 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 da, dee 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 dee, la da 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 da, dee 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 da da da, la da 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 da, dee 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 da. So just the chords change there. So it is like the A part, but there's a few changes that I would therefore call it a C part. So this is your basic framework of the song. You've got the rhythm, which is a kind of tribal, 4/4 beat. Maybe a little change in, you've got the format A, B, C. Maybe it goes A, B, and then goes to a C. Who knows how that's going to progress. And you've got a, space. You've got a lot of room for creativity in there. When you're just dealing with that kind of a basic structure, you can really build, and this can go to a lot of different places, and depending on the people who are taking part in it. So I have no idea how this is going to end up. But let's look at the lyric. Okay, that's the basic structure of the music and the rhythm and the feeling. Now, this being an ancient kind of lyric, coming its biblical source, and but the story certainly is not ancient. The story is very human. We are all subject to various illnesses and pains and aches at various times, and we all call for some kind of a healing to take place. So this is basically, the source of this is Numbers chapter 12, verse number 13, or in Hebrew, Bamidbar, 12, Pasuk 13. So this is, as I started to say, the story behind this is that Miriam is Moshe's sister, Moshe being the leader of the exodus of the new world, the start of the new nation, and the one who speaks directly, face to face with God, and God instructs Moshe on this new rules and regulations, this new life that they're starting to build, a new nation with a new structure, a new form of living, more civilly. They had just come out of slavery, out of Egypt, where they were considered servants to the Egyptians under harsh conditions, and Moshe comes to lead them out of that situation, out of slavery, into freedom. Freedom, but within a new set of rules and regulations that stand to be more humane and more civil, that are also directed and directly given by God through Moses. So it's kind of interesting to look at this story on so many levels. When you think about what's going on today in today's world, you've got an illness that has struck the world, the COVID-19, the coronavirus, and it's struck the whole world. And all of us, like it or not, have to change our ways. So we are being forced into a situation where well, we're forced. I don't know if you want to say forced, but anyway, we're under a situation, we're in a situation where we have to make changes in our lifestyle, like it or not, due to the illness that has overcome us. In this case, Miriam has an illness, it's called leprosy. We call it leprosy, although the sages will say that it's there's a lot of levels of understanding what this is, but it's a skin disease. And I don't remember the whole explanation and the discourse on it, but it starts actually on the clothing on the outside and then strikes you on the inside. So look at what's happening here. We get a pandemic, we get an illness that strikes us from the outside and causes us to change on the inside. And in this story, the story of this particular verse, Kelna, Refanallah, we have a situation where Moshe cries out to God to be the healer, the master healer. And some people will say this, Miriam got struck with this disease from Lashon Hara, speaking negatively against her brother, speaking idle gossip, negative things, words that harm somebody else, that can cause harm to somebody else. So she herself was stricken with an illness to stop that behavior. We can see today that there's a lot of that going on in the world, and and we hope that there will be a way to stop this, that we won't all get struck down by an illness. But at the moment, the world is kind of at a standstill and trying to figure out, how do we go on? And some might say, well, just like Moshe, let's cry out to God. Who is the master healer of all of this? Who created this situation? How did this situation come about? Some people say it's human, by human hands, and some people will say it's God. God created it, so God will cure it if we call out to God, or humans will cure it. I guess we'll wait and see. Maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe we'll all work together somehow. Who knows? But the general message seems to be that a change is needed in how we live, in how we think, in how we behave, in how we speak. So I didn't know I was going to go to that place. But the lyric is crying out to God to offer a healing, to save Miriam from this illness. So Miriam is quarantined. Miriam, when she acquires this illness, is quarantined. She's set apart from the community. Hello. And she's set apart from the community and sent to isolation until the illness is I don't want to say cured, but until the illness is gone. So what are we all doing now? We're quarantining. We're in quarantine. Those who are strucken down with the illness are in very severe quarantine, and the rest of us are in this kind of virtual quarantine, social distancing, keeping apart. But going apart means also coming into yourself, finding out who you are and who we are, and how our relationship is. So there's so much involved in what's going on today. Is it tribal? Tribal means community. Are we separate tribes? Can we come together somehow and make this work? So, Ana, please, Hashem, God, Refana Lanu, I said, let's heal ourselves. So we cry out to a higher source to heal us, but actually who needs to do the healing is we do. God helps those who help themselves, there's a saying. So, Ana Hashem Refana Lanu, please heal us, or show us a way to heal ourselves. Which way will it be? I ask you that question. I leave that for you to figure out. Elohim, 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 Elohim. We're asking God, but what will God do if we don't help ourselves? If we don't make a change, maybe God's not going to help us. I mean, God has, power. God created us all, but God created us for Tikkun. Now, I want to talk about another subject called Tikkun. Tikkun in Hebrew means repair, heal, fix, improve, make something better. And it's highly, there's an expression in the Jewish world called Tikkun Olam, which has been highly misconstrued and misunderstood and misused today. And I'm going to just read a little bit from an article that I would like to kind of share here about this, what's called the fallacy, delusion, and myth. And it's going to make a lot of people angry, but I am also highly insulted and concerned about the way that people understand this concept of Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam, okay, so it's very difficult, indeed utterly unbearable, to sit silently by while Jews and now the general religious and secular communities completely misuse and distort the term Tikkun Olam. Certainly not intentionally or out of any malice, but rather out of ignorance in the pursuit of virtuous goals and principles which may be applicable to general society and civilization, but which have tragically become a poor substitute for authentic religious observance. Okay, you can take or leave religion as you want, but what is the true meaning of this word tikkun, two words, Tikkun Olam? So it has come to be commonly understood as some kind of social justice and repairing the world in that sense of social justice. And now, anywhere in the Torah does it actually mean that? So what it actually means is, it says, nor in traditional sources is Tikkun Olam in any way even a direct human imperative or action, but rather one that is left in God's hands. We cannot and are not instructed to save the world or even to repair it. Judaism teaches no such thing. I'm as surprised as you are. Rather, we are instructed to conduct ourselves properly, to observe the mitzvot. These are the instructions. They're not good deeds, they are commandments or required imperatives, instructions on how to behave in a more civil and kind and compassionate and even just manner to create that kind of a harmonious community. So for Jews, this includes not simply socially or politically correct precepts such as giving charity or engaging in political action, but also observance of the Shabbat, the Sabbath, dietary restrictions such as keeping things kosher, daily prayer, and other commandments or instructions which seem to have fallen out of favor or are ignored, if not openly denigrated and violated in some segments of the community. Now, I'm not holier than thou. Okay, I am a secular Jewish person who strongly loves and believes and tries to live according to these instructions as best I can, and how it's interpreted, and the interpretation is the key. So, but if you go and read the Torah, read the Bible, especially in some sections, the Vayikra anyway, um, there are definite instructions given, and I truly believe that if we all followed some of these instructions, and many or most of these instructions, as best we could, the world would be a better place. So the ultimate meaning of Tikkun Olam is to follow God's instructions, and in that manner we will come closer to the source, and we will build the world that God really wanted to create for us, but left it in our hands to do. God created a framework like this song that I'm teaching you today and asking you to collaborate with me and build. God gave us a framework, created a world for us, and gave us a blueprint, the Torah, gave us some instructions on how to do it, as I am offering you. Here's the instructions, the basic framework, as I said, the rhythm, the beat, the rhythm, the tribal feeling, the mood, the melody. All of this comes together and provides a framework in which to build, from which to build the song. So in the same way, Tikkun Olam means let's look at the framework, the basic framework of this world that we live in, that God created for us and left for us to take care of. Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, were the first of mankind, first humankind, and they were instructed to take care of the world that they were, the physical world that they were living in. And, well, didn't do a great job of it. And so we are continuing to find ways of improving on what they started to do, but could not finish in a manner in which that brings us to that world that God wanted to ultimately see for us and for our relationship with God. It's very eclectic, isn't it? I try not to, in an effort, trying not to insult anybody. Maybe I'm kind of being a little vague or whatever, but I think that it's important to understand this expression, Tikkun Olam. Okay, so what this writer, who is himself the Grand Rabbi Y.A. Korf from the Shvil Mezbus Rebbe of Boston, is the chaplain of the city of Boston and spiritual leader of the Shvil Mezbus Beit Midrash in downtown Boston and Newton. And the column first appeared in the Jewish Advocate of Boston, and then appeared in the Jewish National News Syndicate and in Allgemeiner. So I will put the link to that in the box. But what he goes on to finally say is that Tikkun Olam means for the proper order of the Jewish community. It is a long way from that definition to build a better world. It doesn't mean that. So he says, please everyone, enough with the Tikkun Olam. For Jews who truly want to engage in Tikkun Olam, the only honest and authentic Jewish way to do that is to encourage observance of the Torah across the entire spectrum of the Jewish community. That, in fact, is actually what our responsibility is. Nothing more and nothing less. And the rest is up to God. If we do our part, so will God. So that is probably either hopefully inspiring you or perhaps angering you. I don't know. Whichever way you go with it, that's up to you. So I wanted to talk about those issues because, this world is so complicated today. And we all want to see a better world, and everybody's got their different way of trying to make that happen. Some are using violence, some are using peaceful means. Some are turning to religion, some are walking away from religion. Some are just trying to find some kind of inner peace somehow that hopefully will inspire others to become more peaceful within themselves and then therefore to the outer world. Who knows? But I don't know what's the best method. All I know is that music needs to be a part of our lives. And so show you the skeleton layout that I have written for this song. Looks like this. Can you see it there in both sides? Facebook and on Instagram. There you go. So where is it? There. Here it is on Facebook. Yeah. Those are my notes. You see the A, B, and C parts there. You see some of the words changed. Now, instead of saying Ana Elna, some might wonder why I say Hashem or Kel or Elohim instead of Elohim or something like that. It's the same way that nobody wants to say the names of their gods, their prophets, whoever, out of respect. We don't say the proper name unless we are in the proper intent and proper situation, and so that's why. And so I want to take this opportunity also. That's a basic, pure example of song catching and songwriting and how we relate it to ourselves, our lives, and how we're going to build on it. If you have any suggestions and you want to get together and try and build that song, that'd be great. Let me know. Let me know who you are and what you play and how you want to build it. Let's see if we can make something of it. I'm going to go out with another song. So I'm talking about healing and trying to build God's world, trying to build and improve on what God left us in order to try and comply, to live harmoniously and peacefully together. The whole world is involved in this right now. It's so amazing. So this is a song that comes from a Jewish liturgy, the Jewish prayer for healing. And what would you like to say when somebody is ill or sick or in a situation that needs some kind of healing? We say Refuah Shelema. Refuah Shelema means a complete healing. Shalem, complete and whole healing. This comes from, it's not just taking a pill and feeling better, it's getting to the source, and from that source being able to actually get rid of what's happening with you. Now that source can be spiritual, that source can be physical, that source can be energetic. We don't know what the source is, but you need to get to the source. You can't just take a pill and say, okay, I'm better. I always say, go to sleep. The body knows how to heal itself. Sleep, let yourself get the rest that you need. Many people will go take a pill or go see a doctor and say, okay, now I feel better and I'm going to go to work because they're afraid of losing their job or something like that. You're not going to get better. You're not going to get better unless you take the time off and allow yourself the rest that's needed for your body to actually heal itself. If you do not do a complete run the whole course of letting the body actually come to a full, complete healing back to itself, then the body is just never going to get better. And you're going to have this illness constantly. So what the medication does is make you feel better temporarily, but it doesn't get to the source. It's not going to actually get you out of that. So that's my recommendation. I'm full of lectures today. This is, yeah. When I get on the subject of healing, I am a certified clinical musician. This means I've been trained to use my music for therapeutic purposes. And that could be in the mind, for mentally and physically, spiritually, intellectually, all of those ways in which music, the energy can come to you. Music is an energetic force, an energetic element that reaches you in a different way, and so it can really help your healing process. And depending on how you use the music, it can make you feel better. It could also make you feel worse. So we need to be aware of all of that. So as a healer, as someone who is in the healing profession, I know a little bit about that. I'm no expert, but I know, and I've had an interest in Jewish healing and Eastern Asian practices as well, which are also fantastically interesting and very good as well. So traditional healing using organic methods and whatever. So music is one of those ways that uses energy, it's kind of organic way to reach us in a different level and help and provide some kind of benefits. So blah blah blah. I will go to this next song, which is called Refuah Sheleimah, and this is what it looks like. These are all my originals, but the lyrics are coming from sources of liturgy and Bible, Torah, whatever. So the lyrics are not actually, if they're mine, they're drawn from those lyrics, and I made some certain changes about them. But so אדוני ישלח להם רפואה שלמה. אדוני ישלח להם רפואה שלמה. רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, רפואה שלמה. רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, רפואה שלמה. עד השם ישלח לכם רפואה שלמה. עד השם ישלח להם רפואה שלמה. רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, רפואה שלמה. רפואה Refuah Sheleimah. You can find that on my CD called New Liturgy. I think you can find it on some other albums, perhaps. And you know, when I sing that, when I was recording that, hi everybody. You can find it at RahelMusic.com, RAHEL music.com, and go to the download section there. Thank you. Go to the download section there and click on it, and you'll find a bunch of, it'll bring you to Bandcamp, and you'll find a bunch of albums there, and I'll put it in the box. I'll put a link there where you can find that song. And I hope it brings you peace, healing, inner harmony, and peace to our world. I'm quite concerned, scared a little bit even, about what's going on with the baseless hatred around the world, especially directed at the Jews. And it never ends, and it's got to end. You got to stop hating us. We're not bad people. And we just want good things for the world. So, and I'm sure you all do too. So thank you for joining me. I'm sorry you just came on, for you who just came on just now. I'm actually coming to an end of this broadcast. I will do another one a little bit later, I hope. So this is Songcatching series, songwriting series. I believe this is number 8. And I will put it up on my YouTube channel, Rahel Sings, RahelSings, Rahel Sings. And there's always a link to it. And what else can I tell you? I gave a little discourse today. I acted like a rebbitzin, rabbi's wife, or a teacher, or whatever you want to call me. But I hope it brought you some kind of food for thought, in the very least. We need to change our thinking. We need to think about how we think, how we live, and we need to make some changes. So thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for, I hope, supporting that. And again, if you want to start that, what I began with, for those who just came in, was this skeleton of a song that has not yet really turned into anything. And if you just came in, I'll just give you a peek at it. Looks like this. It's really scribbles at this point. As I was just talking about songwriting and songcatching, I caught the song, but we have to finish writing it. So if you want to do that, I'll give you a little reprise on that. I used my Vox drum machine here and give you a little beat so you can have a little bit of fun here. So. ANA HASHEM REFUAH Take care, everybody. Happy healing to you. Happy days. Don't postpone joy. That's the ultimate cure. Don't postpone joy. Take care, everyone. Great to see you today.